Hi Josh. Today we are going to look at one more topic out of the book of Ecclesiastes. This is probably my last video on a topic from this book, at least for a while. And we are going to look at the key term of this whole book, the term vanity. We already have a video that covers this topic in detail, but today we are going to look at a specific aspect of it that we haven't covered yet. But we are going to start a little differently. We are going to start by looking at the parallels between the book of Genesis, specifically its opening 4 chapters, and the book of Ecclesiastes. Are there any parallels? And in fact, surprisingly, there are quite a few. There are a lot of thematical parallels between the two books. Let's start by noticing that Genesis talks about humans created from dust, and after sin, they are doomed to return to dust. And Genesis in 3rd chapter, verse 19, puts it like this: "For you are dust, and to dust you shall return." And Ecclesiastes sees things very similarly when he says in 3rd chapter, verse 20, "All are from dust, and to dust all return." So this is almost a citation. It's almost a literal citation. Genesis also describes the curse that humans face after they are expelled from Eden to work the ground in sweat of their face. And for Ecclesiastes, the topic, the theme of meaningless toil under the sun, the hard work that humans have to go through most of their life, is one of the more or most important topics. It's one of the prime evils Ecclesiastes sees under the sun. Genesis also describes the curse of having to die after humans are expelled from God's presence in Eden. And for Ecclesiastes, the theme of death is really the prime evil he sees, the fact that both wise and fools all are going to die. That's really an important topic for him. And the last parallel we are going to look is on a Genesis side, the name of Eve's second son, Abel, and on Ecclesiastes side is the key term vanity. This doesn't look like a parallel at all. Is it really a parallel? And so let's start by looking at the first 2 verses of the book. And I'm going to read it in Hebrew. Down here it's in English. Divrei Kohelet ben David melech Birushalayim. Havel Havalim amar Kohelet. Havel Havalim hakol Havel. So right here in the second verse, we have our key term Havel 5 times. And we are reminded here that in Hebrew, the term typically translated as vanity is Havel. And by the sound of it, it sounds somewhat similar to name Abel. But is it really the same word? Is it related in any way? For that, let's switch to our Bible software and let's look at this term once more in detail. So we see the word Havel here, breath, vanity, idols. We see the range of meanings. We have already looked at this exact chart. So let's continue down here. And here is a thing we haven't covered yet. So the word Havel can have actually 2 sets of meanings. It's the meaning breath, vanity, idols, and so on. And then it's actually the name Abel. So in fact, the name Abel is the same exact word in Hebrew. It's the same exact spelling. It's the same exact lemma. So Eve actually named her son breath, vanity, which really matches very well his destiny of being murdered by Cain so early in his life. So I thought this would be an interesting thing to point out, that there are in fact many parallels between the book of Genesis and its early chapters and the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes really focuses on one of the main topics that are introduced right at the first pages of Bible around death, around toil under the sun, and so on. And this is all emphasized by Ecclesiastes using the term Havel over and over again, and that term matching the name of Eve's son, Abel. So this is not to draw some theological conclusions out of it. It's just an interesting thing to notice. It's an interesting parallel to point out. So I hope you enjoyed that, and talk to you next time.